Hey everyone, Mike from Just Watch, back with another Just Watch review. Today, we kind of had a curveball thrown at us by this Seiko SBDC061. You guys probably saw the video that I posted last week, which was the unboxing and first impression, and then that was followed by a video I posted last night about two big problems with this watch, namely the chapter ring alignment and the bezel action. So this watch is actually going back to JapanOnlineStore.com where I got it from, and thank you to those guys. They have been awesome through this whole process and are definitely taking care of me as far as getting this watch returned and everything else. So awesome retailer with those guys. If you're into JDMs, if you're looking for a watch, definitely check out JapanOnlineStore.com. They do take great care of their customers. However, this watch does have some issues, which I do blame Seiko for. And to me, this is a total lack of quality control. So anyways, let's get into this watch. I'm going to run you through kind of a week and a half impression. Unfortunately, that's all we're going to have it for until we send it back. But I do want to do a full review on this watch as far as how it's keeping time, how it is to wear, and all of that other stuff. And also we'll go a little deeper into the chapter ring alignment issue and also the bezel alignment. I'll give you guys a closer look and hopefully a better sound on both of those issues. All right, everybody, thank you for joining in. Let's get this baby under the lights. All right, so let's take a closer look at this Seiko SBDC061. As I said in the intro, people that have seen the last two videos that I did on this watch, I did an unboxing where I didn't really notice the chapter ring alignment issues right off. Somebody actually picked up and commented on it in that video. And once I went back and took a closer look, I did notice that the chapter ring alignment is indeed off. And the second thing is with the bezel. So it's supposed to be 120 click bezel, which it is. And see if you guys can pick up this sound here. So everything's good here, right? So it's clicking twice per, as it should, right around. Problem is when you get around to about the 4 o'clock marker right here, it kind of wants to skip that first click, and it really starts when you get to the 3 o'clock. It really starts, and it turns from a 2 click per minute to a 1 click per minute. So really, it really starts from about the 12-minute mark. And right around, and then when it gets back to the 12 o'clock, it goes back to 2 click. So really weird. As far as the action goes, it's very nice. It's very light. It does get notchier over on this side where the click problem is having issues. So I think something with the spring mechanism underneath is gumming up, which is weird because I don't know how it's kind of resetting itself when it gets back to the 12 o'clock, but that is what's happening. As far as the alignment on the bezel triangle goes, it does look pretty good. It's kind of to the left of that chapter ring mark that's off. So I think that the actual bezel is lined up pretty well with the 12 o'clock index marker. It just seems to be that the chapter ring is shifted around a little bit. So let's go through this watch and talk about kind of the dimensions and what it's like to wear and what it's like on the wrist. As you guys have seen, I did put it on a NATO strap just for nice ease of wear. It's been super hot here in New England lately, and I do like wearing a watch on a NATO strap. It does come on this quite nice oyster style bracelet from Seiko, and Seiko did kind of a neat touch with it. So it has really nicely executed brushed finish, and what they did is they kind of gave you a bevel with polish on the inside of the center links, which makes it just look a little bit chunkier, a little bit more masculine. I really like it. It's a 20 millimeter width with solid end links. You can see it, of course, it has those big holes for the large spring pins that come on Seiko dive watches. It's a really nicely executed bracelet. The clasp is a little bit tinny. It's kind of if you've handled a Seiko clasp, it's pretty much, the same Seiko clasp you get on just about every diver that costs less than $1,000 US. So it's a twin lock with the twin deployment triggers on either side. And one thing they did step up, which I do appreciate, is they did step up the machining on the inside of the clasp. As you can see here, it is signed ST Steel-B, and just a little mark there, which I don't know. Oh, that's the back side of the pin, but no other signing on the inside Kind of reminds me of the SARB 35 inner clasp. As far as, it's a beefier version, of course, but it does remind me a bit of that clasp. I'm actually wondering if this bracelet would fit on the SARB. I think it would look pretty neat on there if it would. I might actually try that. If it fits and it looks good, I'll post up a video for you guys to see. I'm worried that the radius on this end link here is going to be wrong for the SARB, but we can always give it a try and see what happens. So anyways, that is the bracelet. It's pretty nice. It's well executed. It's a push pin style. It does have the collar on the center link, which does make things a little bit easier when you're adjusting the size on this bracelet. I never did wear this bracelet. I just took it off and mounted it up on the NATO strap for wear in the outdoors. Overall dimensions on this watch are really nice. It's 51 millimeter from lug to lug, 44 millimeters across the width of the case, excluding the crown, of course, although the crown is not a problem, being that it is at the 4 o'clock position, and it is 13.1, I think. Yeah, 13.1 millimeters deep on the diameter. Actually, let's take the Seiko strap off here so you guys can get a closer look at the case back. So this is a monoblock construction with a screw-on case back. It is not the monoblock, all one piece where the movement drops down in through the front, like the 6159 and the previous Marine Master, the Marine Master 300 and what have you. So it does have a screw-down case back, pretty much typical Seiko diver if you've handled a turtle or anything along that line. You will definitely recognize this. All right, so you do get a lot of bells and whistles with this watch. You get a beautifully finished stainless steel case. You can see those gorgeous lugs, Zaratsu polishing with the DiaShield coating to provide scratch resistance. It has this beautiful bezel with the coin edge all the way around, really nice profile. It has an unsigned crown at 4 o'clock with some nice grippers, machined in also kind of coin style edge on the grippers there for the watch. I'm actually surprised they went to an unsigned crown here, especially if you're thinking about, the SARB 35 has a signed crown, and that retails for, I think the full retail was $500, something like that. So a lot less money than what this is retailing for in no signed crown. So that actually is kind of a down check in my book. Up check is that they did give us drilled lugs, so it makes it super easy to change out straps or to put the bracelet back on or off. I definitely appreciate that. Sapphire crystal, stainless steel index markers. It doesn't have a glossy dial. It's a flat black dial with these index markers, and of course Seiko's awesome Lumabrite lume, which really pops and glows. Also has the Tuna and SBDC051/053 broad, what I call the broad arrow style minute and hour hand with a very fine reverse lollipop second hand. The movement in this watch is a 6R15. It features a 50-hour power reserve. It is anti-magnetic, shock resistant, vibrates along at 21,600 vibrations per hour, so it should have some good durability as far as that goes. This watch is actually keeping pretty good time. It is losing about 2 seconds per day, which is actually within cost standards, so can't really complain about that there as far as that goes. On the wrist, this watch is pretty good. I actually really enjoy the size, so I'll give you a comparison. There is the Tudor Black Bay Black on my wrist. My wrist is 7 inches, so I'm going to pop this off, and we will put on the Marine Master 200 here. Just give you guys a look at what it's like on the wrist, on the NATO. So there it is on the NATO strap. It actually rides really nicely on a NATO. It's because of that really nice sweep down curve of the lugs. It really sits down nice and low. Some watches, if you wear them on a NATO, they kind of feel like they're sticking up off of your wrist quite a bit, but no issues there at all with the watch. As far as the actual mechanics of the watch go, we already discussed the bezel. I did want to show you guys the crown and the setting on the watch. So it has, of course, a screw-down crown. Very nice operation, actually. The threads feel good. It's not Swiss watch like, Tudor or Black Bay or Rolex good, but it is very good, very smooth feeling, very solid. Nice solid click when you come out. This is your first position where you can set the date. It does feature hack, of course, hand winding also. When you're setting the time, very solid feel to it. There's no real slop or play when you're coming around setting the time, so no problems there at all. And then just a really nice solid click for getting the watch going back again. And then your hand wind on this is very smooth and very low resistance. It has a great feel. So nice job by Seiko on the hand wind and also on the date setting. As far as setting as far as when the date changes, I did not check that yet. So let's take a look there at what time the date pops over. So we're on 7 now. And actually it's starting just after 11 o'clock. You can see it started there. And it's fully popped over by midnight. So it starts a little bit early, but I think that's well within acceptable range as far as when that is changing time. So pretty good there. No problems there as far as the mechanics go with the winding. And the crown feels, when you set that crown back in, it does feel very solid. You never feel like you're going to over tighten it. There's just a nice solid stop feel when you do screw that crown back down, and very easy to manipulate. And also when it's on the wrist, there's no issues with that crown rubbing into the back of your hand. I never even noticed it. So I think that is a good thing as well about this watch. So anyways, we are getting this back to the dealer in Japan where it came from. We're going to get another one back. We'll see how the next one does as far as alignment issues and bezel action. Overall, I can't really give you a solid rating on this watch because of the 2 QC issues. While the chapter ring alignment is minor, I think it's something that should be addressed. And to me, the bezel, the mechanical action of the bezel is a much bigger action. It definitely shouldn't do that. There's something wrong mechanically underneath there. So I hope that Seiko addresses these QC issues soon. I know that they've been a great brand and a brand that's built up a lot of loyalty and following over the decades, especially in their dive watch department, going back to the old, actually going back to the Vietnam War era, the late 1960s with some of the watches that they issued back then, following through the 80s with the 6309s and, right on into the 2000s with the reissue of the Turtle and all the good stuff that they have done. So anyways, just wanted to give you guys a look, the 1 week impression on this Seiko Marine Master 200. Keeping good time. Lots of good things about it. There's a lot to like about this watch. It's just a shame that the execution by Seiko did not follow through. They did not execute on the build on this watch. So hopefully they get these issues straightened out soon, put this behind them, and we can, stop worrying about this kind of stuff, stop talking about this kind of stuff. Anyways, everybody, thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time checking us out on YouTube, thank you for doing so. We do hope that you hit that subscribe button below. We greatly appreciate that, of course. And also, we always love talking about watches and everything else, so please do leave a comment with your thoughts as to the QC issues on Seiko or whatever else. What do you guys think about this watch? We definitely appreciate talking to you guys and enjoy that. And also, please do hit that like button. All right, everybody, that's it for this Seiko Marine Master 200. Thank you again for tuning in, and we will see you soon.